Hello, I'm Debs and this is Debs Makers.
So it's the start of October and I have for you today my August and September makes. Now, my sojo's gone a bit missing, so I've not been as prolific, which is probably a good thing, isn't it? But I thought if I record this, that might help. So I have, I think, 8 things to share with you. A couple of them I don't have. Right, so I've done what I can with the lighting. I hope it's all right. I might look like I'm in the dark with a light shining at me because that's what I am. Make number 1. I think I've talked about this on a Friday Sews, but I don't think you've seen it on a makes video. So this is the Eucalyptus jumpsuit, which is a deer and doe pattern. Deer and doe, now owned by Closet Core. And this has been on my wish list for quite a long time. I have made it in this lovely duvet cover that was one of my Auntie Anne's one. She died last year. And I have really enjoyed making this. It's a bit like when you knit, if you knitting with self-striping yarn, because you kind of, it's already got some play with the colours in and you just kind of decide where you're going to put it. So it has this really nice button placket. It has a yoke, although it kind of floats a bit, which is a bit strange, unless I did it wrong, which is always a possibility. And on the back, there is no back yoke. And then there is this gap, which keeps you kind of nice and cool. And so it kind of feels a bit, a bit fun and a bit summer. But I made this in August, like the start of August, I think, or middle part of August. And essentially it never got warm enough after I'd made it for me to wear it. So yes, it's going to go in the summer box for next year and we'll see if it gets somewhere. I think there is a picture of me in it. If there isn't, I'll try and do one. But if I don't get one chance to do one, I'm sorry. Ooh, and I was going to say, I have a vague plan to make a sleeveless version. Red Sews, Becca and I were having a bit of a conversation that we ought to go out for cocktails in Eucalyptuses. And so I have a vague plan to make I've got some of that Atelier Brunette Forest Dobby viscose, which I'd quite like to make a sleeveless one in. Number 2 is one that I don't have. I'll put a picture in here. This is an elephant fabric Trillium dress made by Rae, which I made for my friend Kate, who, yes, is very precious to me. I don't have a picture of it in it, but she is very pleased with it. And she requested that the elephants be front and centre, as they are in the picture. The Trillium dress is such a nice pattern, and I haven't made one since about 2018, I don't think. And I was going to make one on my summer plans, but because the weather was so grim, I just didn't. I've previously worn one, though, layered over a striped long sleeve tee, kind of as like a pinafore type thing. So yeah, I'm not excluding one occurring. You can see my brain is like ticking through the things that I have available to sew at the moment. So that's make number 2. Make number 3 is the Yantas, and I've made the Yantas, I don't know, a lot of times before, including for people in my life. These are fairly crumpled, I'm really sorry. They have just come out of the wash and I haven't ironed them because I was trying to decide whether I was going to keep them out or not. So I made them in this really nice medium to heavyweight linen that I got when Lottie at Wild Orchard used to do fabric. So I'd had it for about 4 years by the time I made it, maybe longer. I lined it in this ruby star cotton sateen. And unfortunately, I don't know if you'll be able to see in this light, but it's kind of taken the blue a little bit, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter, does it? I've got these lovely silver buttons, which were decided by a poll on Instagram. There is a little rosy cheeks, I think, lay will be strong, be happy, be you, and a patch, which is coming up slightly. I might need to tack that. Which is one of those little biscuit sweeties whose name I've forgotten again. So yes, I made a size 14 in those, and then I did what I had to do last time. So the last time I made these, I made a 10, and I had to kind of slim from the waist down to the hip. Now this is quite kind of slim through the hip, and so Helens, it's a Helens closet pattern, sorry if I didn't say. Helen suggests that if you have a narrow grading between waist and hip, you might benefit from having a zip. I was obviously trying to not put a zip in these. I could probably, I'll put a picture of me wearing them up here, but I could probably do with a zip and then being able to size the hip down a little bit. But I haven't done that so far because I thought I'll just wear it and kind of see how it feels. And I wore those quite a lot when we were away in Scotland and the weather wasn't great. But yeah, they could really do with going down a size. I love the Yantas as a pattern. I think I'm just trying to adjust the sizing again for me. And that linen is really nice, so I'm pleased with those, but they perhaps just need a little tweak. Next thing I made was, you'll not recognise this fabric. Again, this is quite creased. Yeah, for a duvet cover, I think it's because it's all cotton, but for a duvet cover, it stays very creased. So this is the Merchant & Mills Scout. I've shown you this in a Friday shows, I'm sure I have. I've enjoyed wearing this a lot. Sorry, I'm just doing the buttons back up. I have a Sewing on the Brain label just because I like the pink went. Some stripe play with this again. I've done the back yoke on the bias to give me plenty of room, and you can see it has that little crease there. What do you call that, Deb? Pleat. Now this placket is tricky. It took me ages to work out what they were trying to get me to do. And then I was like, oh, I've got that. And then I came to make the other one and I couldn't remember again. I was like cursing. Yes, I struggled with that as a thing. And I did make, there somewhere, I made the matching tie, but I made the mistake of self-lining it. And it's a bit, can you see how thick it is? It's really thick. It will tie, and I have worn it, but it's not exactly the most comfortable. They have you do, oh look, that's coming undone, that's not good. They have you make like a little, the back of the tie securer to go underneath so that it sits nicely. Yes, so I'm really pleased with that. It's been worn loads, and I can't quite decide. Again, that's one that you could probably layer up, but I don't know that I will in that fabric. So yeah, we'll see. This one is this, which is a Phen shirt made in a silk wool blend that came from Fabworks Mill in 22, I think. It has very nice, I love to sew label on it, and it is closed with brass sewing breasters, which is what I got to eventually. I did mention this on a Friday sew. So this is entirely hand sewn. This fabric did not like to be sewn. It frayed like the devil. It definitely would have been better sewn on the machine. But I had cut it out and took it away to our holiday in Scotland, and so I just sewed it while I was there. I've used the stripe in different directions, and you can see it's got this narrow and then wider stripe, so it's got a natural stripe pattern, which I have tried to match across the garment, and I think I was successful in that. So this is the Phen shirt. I have made this once before in a purple gingham. I made some changes to this after discussion with Pattern Fantastique designer lady whose name I've forgotten, but just because it had got this pronounced curve, and I was kind of wondering how best to take it up and not affect the arm's eye. And I think what I did in the end, I'd made the changes when I got it out this time, and I think I did a smaller sleeve as well as taking some length off the pattern, and I'm pleased with how it's turned out. I will put a picture. I was wearing it the other day with some Arthur pants in navy, and so I shall put a picture there. I am quite pleased with this. It did take me a really long time, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. But when I came back from sewing this, that's when I really didn't want to sew anything. And I don't know if it's because I'd slowed down because I'd done this by hand, or whether I just couldn't really think what I wanted to make, because, I mean, I have quite a lot of clothes. I also have quite a lot of fabric. So that kind of brings me to the whole 30. I will do a proper update when I do a Friday sews at some point, but I think I'm at 16.5 meters sewn. Now, officially for that challenge, you are not allowed to buy notions, but I had to buy some elastic and some buttons to enable me to get some makes done. So I'm letting myself off for those on the basis that, yeah, that's what I've decided. So I didn't sew anything for 3 weeks, including the week that we were away, which is unheard of for me. And I did pull out some things and looked at them and just couldn't quite decide. And so then I found these scraps of watermelon fabric sitting about and decided that they're filthy, I'm really sorry, that I would make a little pair of slippers to wear mostly in the dining room while I'm sewing so that my feet don't get cold because they're really soft. So actually then you can use the pedal all right. So they obviously, I made a bit of a boo-boo with working out which pattern was going to be where, and I've ended up with a pale, I'm not going to show you because they're filthy, but it's that pale linen colour, which is here, is also on the bottom, which is obviously not ideal. I thought I was going to end up with a teal colour on the bottom, but yes, never mind. There was an issue with this pattern. What was it? I emailed her and she answered straight away, or I messaged her and she answered really quickly. I think it's to do, I bought the paper pattern of this, and it says the seam allowance is 1 centimetre and then open brackets 5/8 of an inch. I put a picture. So I was like, well, 1 centimetre is not 5/8 of an inch, 1 centimetre is 3/8 of an inch. So I kind of was a bit wary about starting until I'd ascertained that it definitely was a centimetre. And it definitely is a centimetre, but obviously it's a typo. There was something else as well, I can't remember. There was like a little thing with it. But these were really easy to make and actually a really good scrap buster because you only need like little pieces of slightly odd shaped fabrics, of which is often what we've kind of got left, isn't it? Inside I put some fleece, like the fleece interfacing, but it wasn't fusible. It was just like sew-in fleece interfacing, which I had a little bit of for a bag. So I'm hoping I don't come to make a bag and then go, I haven't got any of this left. But the other thing I put inside it was I'd got some soft shell left over, like all sorts of odd scraps of. And I thought that's what I thought was going to end up being on the bottom. But yeah, so next time I need to just try and make sure that I make them the right way around and end up with the kind of fleecy bit of the soft shell on the bottom. And then what I thought it would probably like help to clean the floor as well at the same time. But there you go. So that's what I made when I was trying to gently encourage my Sojo to reappear. We'll see. So then having got that one sorted, I think I made a size 12 and then made it the shoulders and the net. I made it kind of down to here, made it into a 10. And altered the pattern to fit that. I think that's what I did. And then I made the dress. And I quite like this. This is not really my normal style shape, whatever. You know, normally I have a little bit of more narrowing. These have a Cosy Club handmade labelling, which is the llama one, which says, I've got your back. And it says, hey, you are amazing on the other side of it. You can choose which way those go. I had learnt and I did proper lining on my tie, and I really like it with the tie. And yeah, again, the bottom of the placket really is tricky thing. So this was kind of the first go at this dress before I cut into my precious fabric. And having done it, I decided that delicate Japanese cotton sateen would not manage if I needed to unpick it 4 times like I did this one. So that kind of put me off doing that. Precious Fabric 24, that was it, wasn't it? I should link that video up there if you hadn't seen it. But yes, this is a Ruby Star Society Melody Miller print, as was the one that the slippers were made from, the watermelon one it was as well. And actually my next make is a Ruby Star as well. Yeah, so I didn't sew very much, but what I did, I sewed in very nice fabric in lovely colours. I really like this colour. And I think this one will stay out. I'm going to try and find something to layer it over the top of so that I can keep going. I did have a thought of making a Sovi sundress, the Soho House 7 one, as a kind of underslip in a pink, but yeah, that's about as exciting as my brain has got. The last one is the garment that I made for Precious Fabric 24, sponsored by Whitney, or encouraged by Whitney of Tomcat Stitchery, and that is these. These are my Oxbow pants, again made in a Ruby Star Society print. This is a Melody Miller print. You can see I've got some more of those, what are they called? Watermelons on the inside. And I'm waiting for a label. A label is coming from Cosy Club Handmade. And if I forget to tell you next time, remind me and I'll show you which label I got. But I felt it fitted perfectly, so I bought a label. these are the Oxbow pants. I have made a pair in blue denim previously and I love them. So I was kind of all right. This is quite a light canvas compared to some of the other ones that I've worked with. I think it's 80% cotton and 20% linen, this one. I have done, again, view A, which is got that really deep cuff, so the cuff comes to here. And actually, you'll see on the pictures, actually, it's slightly longer. I lengthened them by about an inch, these ones, just to give me kind of an option to either have them full length or to bring them up. Now, these are a trouser, aren't they? But what I've done is, you'll see in the picture, I've styled them with a shirt and a plain sleeveless jumper, vest top, tank top, whatever you want to call it. And I think that kind of feels all right. I'm taking part in Teresa's 10 by 10 outfit, handmade outfit capsule challenge, starting on the 10th of October, I hope. And I'm thinking about putting these in just so I'm kind of forced to work out how I'm going to style them. I mean, it's always a really good thing to do, to be honest, is to play about with your me-mades and work out what you can wear them with and what works, especially something like this, because I cheated really and put it on with my chunky black boots, the Lanx ones, and you can essentially wear those with nearly anything. But I do have a pair of tan coloured ones with a heel on, which I think would look quite cute. And I've also got some other ideas for styling that up. In the last couple of weeks, while I haven't been wanting to sew, I have been trying to get dressed. So, encouraged by Katinka Ponders, who is also the seamstress at the cottage, I think is her channel. I'll link it down below. She was doing something that was called, I'm going to forget, Autumn Handmade Outfits or something like that. Or I had to just copy it off Insta, and whenever I posted it into stories, I just pasted it because I couldn't remember. I think I did DIY outfit of the day, and I also did my autumn handmade wardrobe and something else. So, but the idea being that you actually got dressed. So that will be a video that is coming really soon, because I just need to record and edit it. I've done all the kind of clips of every day and the things that I did and things that I got up to. So if I get around to it, that might come in the next couple of days as well. So look out for that one. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I made in August and September 2024, and let me know what the favourite thing of mine that I've shown you is, and let me know what the favourite thing that you've sewn is. How are you finding the sojo at the minute? I know there's quite a lot of people. Ruanne had just put up she's the Yorkshire Sew Girl, had just put up a thing about sojo being absent, and I tried a few things. I'm not sure there's space for another video about what you do to get your sojo back, but the things that I tried I think helped, but mostly I think it's just not getting worked up about it, because it doesn't really matter, does it, whether I sew or whether I don't sew? The world is not going to end because of that. And I just, the only slight pressure on me is that I want to get some more fabric sewn up so that I'm permitted within the rules of the challenge to buy some fabric when I go to the knitting and stitching in November. But I think I'll be fine. So that's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed seeing those, as I say, and thank you ever so much for watching. And if you could do the like and subscribe thing, that would be splendid. Let me know what you've been up to. I love to hear from you in the comments. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you are finding time to rest and replenish and do some making if that's something that's currently bringing you joy. And I shall say bye for now, and I shall see you again soon. God bless. Bye-bye.